Welcome back to part 2 of this Northern Soul weekend. It's a bit like Live Aid actually. I've travelled all the way down from Nantwich and here I am in Wolverhampton. And with no need to introduce this fella, but this is Hitsville Chalky. Welcome.
Hello Mark, welcome to WCR and the Chalky Cave.
Magnificent. Nice setting by the way.
Thank you.
For those of you who don't know, because this goes across the world.
Wow.
Hitsville Chalky. Live on the radio at 6 o'clock, which gives me about 20 minutes. So that's it, now I've got to be off. So I want to go quickly through This Is Your Life. So we'll start at the very beginning. When did you get into mod music and that type of fashion, that type of scene? When are we talking? What year?
Oh, 1979, still at school.
So,
you know, hanging about with some good friends. Neil Foley, Timmins, Bradshaw, Busby, and just, well, you've put me on the spot now and thinking.
So was you Wolverhampton lads?
No, we was Dudley.
Dudley.
Yeah.
So, and for the
So
viewers who don't know, Wolverhampton, Dudley, and Birmingham are sort of like a triangle.
Yes.
So you're in the middle.
Yeah.
Here I am stuck in the middle with you. So to get all your fashions as such, you'd be going to the big cities, Birmingham,
Yeah, well,
Wolverhampton.
we started to go to the mod calf. Well, 1979, 80. You know, we was at school. Yeah.
Bingley Hall.
No, I never went there. And you know, I went to the secondary school, and obviously the Jam was in the charts. And I was listening to the Jam, and I was saying, you know, what's this? This is mod music, the revival. And then I forget who it was, Danky. You know, let's watch Quadrophenia, and you know, old Chalky. That's where I got my nickname from. You know, because they said back in the day I looked like him. So I'm not taking any chances.
I'm saying nothing. I'm sitting on the fence here. So we're talking early 80s.
Early 80s, and then we was going up the mod cafe in Birmingham, summer row in 84, going to the Outrigger on a Saturday afternoon, listening to Nolan Porter, Keep On Keeping On, and you know, just hanging about with mods. And
how did you get on with the Rude Boys in those days?
We never got on, but now I love the Rude Boy image. You know, I've just
it's amazing, isn't it? That turnaround.
I just bought an original pork pie hat, 105 quid.
Wow.
You know, but back in the day, because the pork pie hat was a mod hat anyway from the 60s. You know, as you know, and you know, it was the Rude Boy image of the 80s, and you know, there was a lot of rivalry, a lot of fights. The times we've been chased in Birmingham and back home, Dudley had a big Rude Boy scene. God bless him, Scarface,
because
Stephen Brown.
I've been doing this channel now sort of over the months, and parts of the country this didn't happen.
No,
but
it was only in the Midlands.
In the Midlands, there was a real love-hate thing with the skinheads, the Rude Boys. They just didn't like the mods.
No, they didn't. They didn't get on. But when you went on the mod rallies, you had the Rude Boys with us, and you know, like you say, it was just the Midlands thing, a Dudley thing, a Birmingham thing, you know. But later, when I was coming out of the mod scene, I did hang about with the Rude Boys, and I did get them into scooters, Houghton and Gary and Steve, you know. So they never really picked on me. You know, I don't know why, because I was, you know, like Quadrophenia, you know, his nan's a midget, you know.
So when you finished with the mod scene, was you a scooter boy? Did you change fashions?
No, not really. No, I come out of it because I was playing darts at the time, so I was trying to get on the dart circuit, you know, and I just stopped going up to Birmingham. It was always in my heart, obviously, mod, and it still is. You know, so I was trying to play darts, and then, you know, I lost my brother at an early age, you know, and I was left on my own. So I jacked all the darts in, and, you know, I started to listening to my brother's records, which was, you know, he had some soul records.
And what sort of era, what sort of year we're talking?
I'm talking 1990, something like that. Yeah.
So you started listening to soul and
soul, yeah. Well, I was listening to the soul, obviously, in the early mod days, going up the Outrigger. Ray Charles, I don't know, Doctor, Nolan Porter, Keep On Keeping On, you know, Boogaloo Investigator, you know, which we know as On the Brink, Mike Vickers, you know, and it's all stemmed from there, really. So I met a guy, Bill Randall, and because at the time I started to collect Motown records, not Northern, just Motown, and you know, Bill was a big Motown collector, and he was a big influence on me. You know, he was going to Detroit, and I always wanted to go to Detroit, to Hitsville, USA. And then one day I was in Dudley, and a big Jamaican guy come up to me and says, "You're Ducky's brother?" And I says, "Yeah, how do you know?" He says, "I remember you from the flats in Dudley, Witchbury Court and Kingsley." He was like a northerner, and you know, I was like, "Oh," you know, he was massive, and we just got talking, and he says, "I got loads of Northern Soul records." So I invited him round my house. So we bought these box of records, and we was playing Northern, Eddie Allman, "I Surrender," and he was doing the splits and the backdrop in my house, and we was dancing. You know, and I says, "I collect Motown," and he went, "You don't want to just collect Motown, you want to collect Northern as well." This was from Detroit, like Darryl Banks, "How Love Is in the Pocket," you know, J.J. Barnes, "Please Let Me In," you know. So that was like just after the 90s, 91, something like that, I presume.
So you started your sort of Northern Soul collection.
Yeah, I was, you know, like I said,
then.
we lost my brother. We was doing his bedroom, and he had a box of records, and you know, I thought, well, I was familiar with like the Snake and then I put "Love on a Mountain Top" on, and I thought, oh, this is great record, and it reminded me of my brother, you know. So it all stemmed together.
So when did you start going to the States to buy records?
I started getting to the States early 2000. I think it was 2003. You know, I kept saying to Bill, "I've got to go," because I became good friends with Bill Randall and Dawn, and you know, he took me to Edwin's house a few times. He took me to see Jimmy Ruffin. You know, I met a lot of people through Bill Randall, and I always wanted to go to Detroit. So I said, "Come on, let's go," and we went over, and Francis Nero picked me up at the airport, and that was all through Bill. And I couldn't believe I was driving around Detroit with a former Motown artist, Francis Nero, and I was pinching myself. And she took me to Hitsville, and I had a list of studios where I wanted to go, because I always say Detroit wasn't just about Motown. You had Riptych, you had Revelot, you know, you had a lot of good labels which was very similar to Motown. So I, as a sad anorak, wanted to go to the studios to see where there was, you know. And I went to David Ruffin's grave, because I love Ruffin, I love the Temptations, and you know, Francis took me to Woodlawn Cemetery, and you know, I paid my respects to David, and I wanted to bring live acts over to the UK, similar to what Bill did. So, you know, years before that, imagine I was going down my mate's house, Brendan Phillips, and he played me a track, The Fabulous Peps, with These Eyes, and then years later I'm putting them back together. You know, Nolan Porter, NF Porter, dancing on a Saturday afternoon, you know, when he stops with me in Gornal, and I get him on to a Not Vindaloo, you know, years later. I just find it fascinating. And
so you become almost like a promoter.
well, I try to promote, you know. Northern Soul is a small pond with very big fish in it. You know, there's a lot of good DJs, there's a lot of great promoters, there's a lot of crap DJs as well who mix a record together, and you know, there's a bad pure promoters, and you know, and all that. But that's another side of the scene. It's very anarchy, if you know what I mean. But no, I'm pleased with my CV of Northern, you know, going to Detroit, putting the Marvelettes back together, which gave Motown the first #1 hit with Please Mr. Postman, tracking down Catherine Anderson, you know, and telling her, "I want to put your group back together." She was so took back, and you know, I've working with the Contours, Baby Hit and Run, just a little.
My favourite.
Oh, but it's a great record. You know, so bringing them guys over, it was a dream, and you know, being with Mary Wilson.
So you brought the Contours over to play in the Midlands.
Play in the Midlands through, you know, with Gold Soul, Kev Roberts.
How did that go?
Oh, that was great. I think that was about 2015 now. So we done Wolverhampton.
Was they proper professionals?
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
They want everything perfect.
Yeah, that was great. Joe Billingsley and, you know, yeah, them good lads. So we done the Whitby weekend, we done Liverpool. We done a mini tour. And then we brought the Velvelettes over as well. You know, I've brought the Elgins over with the Von Verney. Ever must have sent you. But she joined in '69. But when Eva must have sent you with the charts in, I think, 71. She was the lead singer of the Elgins. She joined.
I've always said it was the Elgins.
Yeah, well, the Americans, we say Elgin, so I've got, you know, Yvonne will probably see this video and laugh and say, no, Chalky's right. But, you know, working with them people, it's been a dream come true, to be fair. You know, sometimes I pinch myself and I think I'm still dreaming here. You know, but going to Detroit and hanging about with Spider Turner, which, you know, I've done that track with him. You know, Fill This House With Love, which is an answer back to the Millie Jackson. So that was my next level, bringing the artists over and getting close to them. I wanted to be a bit like Ian Levine, right Northern Soul, you know. I always got a dream that one day, on a mainstream point, that we can get Northern Soul back in the charts. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but I've got an ambition, and I do one day want to try and do that, you know. And I'm always getting songs in my head, you know, doing songs with the Velvets and the New Marvelettes, Spider Turner, you know, doing one with Pat Lewis. I did one with Nolan Porter, but I don't really spin it out, you know, so Girl, I'm So Happy. So doing all that, you know, it gives me a bit of a life, you know, ambition to get Northern Soul back in the charts. People might shoot me down, you know, saying, oh no, but I want this music to last forever.
That track, was it Mercy?
Oh yes, Mercy.
That's borderline Northern Soul, really, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
So it's not far from coming.
No, well, if they can play, you know, Mercy.
And that made top 10, I think.
Yeah, I'm all for new stuff, you know.
I'm a bit of a collector. I collect vinyl from Small Faces.
I love the Small Faces.
I'm a 60s collector, and I have a few, and I'm not a collector of Northern Soul.
No.
I have a few. But
it's very expensive.
Not only is it expensive, it's almost impossible to say I've got the full set.
Yeah.
I can buy every Small Faces single that they released and albums and do a bit of digging and stuff.
Yeah.
You can't do that with Northern Soul. It never ends.
No.
And
you're always after one, you know.
And there's stuff they're finding now.
Yeah.
And it's like, has anybody got the full set of Northern Soul?
No, impossible. There's a lot of good collections out there. You know, I know Ian Levine's got a great collection, and there's a few West Midland lads. But I think you never stop, especially buying original vinyl. You need a mortgage these days. You really do, you know. I got a friend who paid $10,000 for the Dellarks job opening. You know, it's very expensive. Then I got another guy who apparently paid $100,000 for Frank Wilson.
Jesus.
Yeah, you know, so
I looked at buying Under My Thumb.
Well, a good copy of that on British, I think it's about 150 quid.
I saw it 350 quid.
Something like that, yeah. It's on a blue, yeah.
Oh, nah, I'm not going into that game.
No.
So, off the top of your head,
I could pick three, but...
Three?
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough question. I'm always going to say...
I haven't even asked you.
Oh. When jumping in. But I knew what you was going to ask me.
Your top three tracks?
Oh, I've got to say, because of my brother, you know, Love on a Mountaintop, always. You know, I played it a few weeks ago, and I always dedicate it to him. I've got to say as well, the Fabulous Peps, that will be up there with These Eyes, because it's like, I always find my favourite tracks I'm associated with the artist.
Yeah.
You know, like Keep On Keeping On with Nolan. You know, the memories, he's sadly passed away now, so I've got a lot of memories with the artist. So, you know, you could say the Marvelettes through Catherine Anderson, the Velvets.
So have you got a top three mod?
Oh, I've got to say Spencer Davis, and I've got to say Small Faces, number one.
Small Faces.
Number one. I love Steve Marriott, and I still listen to the Small Faces at home. You know, I'm always...
I love the Afterglow.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
I love What You Gonna Do About It, Tin Soldier, because it reminds me of Disco Dares back in the day, and Little Danny, you know, from the Birmingham, and Mickey Taylor, H, Penny. You know, there was good lads. There was always here mods.
So you're still, obviously now here we are in a recording studio where you've got your radio station. Do you want to give that a plug? What is it?
6 p.m. every Saturday. If you love Northern Soul, it's out on the floor with Hitsville Chalky.
And people can ask for requests.
Requests. It's a very popular show, mainly with requests, because I'll play like a Band of Gold record, free to paying, to like an expensive Northern Soul track, and I'll mix it. You know, well, try and mix it.
And you're still doing the DJing around the country as
I'll
well?
still DJ next week. I'm in Whitby Weekender. Last weekend I've just done Blackpool Tower. I work with some great DJs and Kev Roberts, Richard Serling, and it's an honour for me to be with them, you know, people. Sometimes I look at myself and think the ambition, what I've put in and the hard work, it has paid off. And I do it because of my family, through my brother. I always wanted as a kid to be a footballer or be somebody famous like a dart player. So I mean, because I lost my mum and dad at an early age, so I want them to be proud of me. And now I put all that into the Northern Soul scene. I want them to be proud of what I've done on WCR. And I never thought it would have worked when I had that email off Steve, you know, if I would be interested in doing a radio show, Northern Soul. I thought, I ain't got it, but, you know, talking to Bill, be yourself, and that's what I wanted to do. I put a lot of effort into it, and, you know, touch wood and thank God, it's paid off.
How long has this radio station
9 years.
9 years?
9 years, yeah. So next year will be my 10th year. And I always say, and I still don't know what I'm doing. And I've got to thank everybody here at WCR, Andy Waters, Andy Swift and Jack, and, you know, that they always give me encouragement. And if I get stuck, I'm phone Andy, I've pressed this wrong button, you know, and they
What's
help
that one
me.
do there?
and they help me, you know, to be fair. I had a lot of recognition during COVID. You know, I was so taken back by the listeners saying Chalky's always there, you know, even through the COVID days. You know, I'd always say that it's their show and not mine. You know, if I didn't have the listeners with the great requests and the great music, I wouldn't be here at 6 p.m.
It is like a big family, though, isn't it?
Northern Soul, it can be a big family, but it can be a massive argument, you know, through the bootlegs. There's a lot of jealous people out there.
Yes.
And if you got success, you know, look at me back, you know, I get, you know, there's a lot of stabbing there, but you just got to move on. And why shouldn't I be doing this? I love it. It's my life, you know, and if I don't get on with people, you know, that's it. You got to be professional. And like I say, it is a big scene. You know, there's a lot of promoters out there who don't get on with so-and-so and, you know, you scratch my back and I'm in that group and, you know, it's... but it should be about the music, really.
I've noticed, I know you quite personally as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
I've noticed you've recently gone back into the scooter scene, as in purchasing scooters.
I've just bought 2, and that's the best thing I've done, to be fair.
To give you a freedom back.
Yes.
Takes you back to...
On a Thursday night with the Garrisons, with Carl Timmins, I'm seeing my old mod mates from that question earlier, you know, the Clawton mods, meeting up on Wolverhampton Street, Zorba. Then we're going to Birmingham, meeting Danky and all the lads, and, you know, Danny and Bren and Raj and Pring, God bless him, you know. I always said to myself, I want to get back into that scene. And like when I says I'm going to buy a scooter, and I kept looking and I went and bought one, and I've been buying some mod clothes, so I've got to get back.
Yeah.
I've got to go back home.
It's like an elephant's graveyard, isn't it?
It
You've
is.
got the draw.
I still love Northern, and I was still do the Northern thing, but
When I was I would be about a 17-year-old mod, I bought a badge, and I've still got it today.
Yeah.
And it says, once a mod,
always a mod. Yeah.
And it's true.
It's like what Paul Weller says.
It's
yeah.
true. I've come out the scene, but you can't...
I still got some old mod badges. I've got a Circles badge with the target.
They're a local band, aren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah. I believe they originally came from Pensnet. Originally, and I think somebody came from Wolverhampton who was in the band.
Slade.
Yeah, Slade. Oh, no.
Skinheads.
No.
So what's for you then going forward?
Forward, carrying on with a great radio show, hopefully, long as WCR have me, and I've got enough listeners. I do want to try and get Northern Soul back in the charts, one way or the other, just a one-off.
Do you plan to bring any more stars across?
Well, it's hard with the COVID situation. I have been in talk with the Spinners, Detroit Spinners. That would be my ideal dream, you know, to bring them over, to be fair. I love the Spinners, you know, but I don't know, I'll probably next year, I'll probably try and do some, you know, I've got to bring my main man back, Spider Turner. You know, I just love him to bits, and, you know, Ronnie McNair, who performs with the Four Tops these days, you know, he's another good friend, and Pat Lewis, and, you know.
Must cost you a fortune in buying the drinks.
We don't off.
Well, I can see the clock's ticking down, and I
Yes.
know you're going live, so I'm going to let you go. Thanks so
Mark.
much for your
Thank
time,
you.
and look after yourself.
Thanks. Cheers.